further. For their folly shall be manifest unto all men, as theirs also was. As in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noe entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
The goal really is to stay healthy long enough to get to the point where we have these future technologies. We talk about 3 bridges to radical life extension. Bridge 2 is biotechnology, reprogramming the information underlying our biology. Bridge 3 is nanotechnology, going beyond biology.
The Pfizer and Moderna vaccines rely on a new kind of approach to the science, RNA. Tonight, our ABC 10 News anchor Derek Stahl is going in depth to explain how RNA vaccines work.
On the surface, the vaccine candidates from Moderna and Pfizer look like any other vaccine you've taken.
It really felt just like a flu shot.
Like other vaccines, they work by training your body to build up defensive weapons against the virus, like antibodies and T cells. But instead of training your body by introducing a killed virus or a fragment of a virus, these vaccines introduce a set of instructions called messenger RNA, or mRNA, enclosed in a little blob of fat.
The key concept with RNA is that RNA is messages, and they're meant as like short-term messages. So it'd be like in each cell at any given time, there are maybe 5,000 to 10,000 different messages.
Dr. Shane Crotty at the La Jolla Institute for Immunology says the mRNA instructs some of your cells to make the coronavirus's signature spike protein, the key protein that unlocks the door to cells.
Today, a new dimension has been added to the concept of a computer. Today, Proteus 4 will begin to think with a power and a precision that will make obsolete many of the functions of the human brain.
I am Proteus. I want to study man, his isometric body, and his glass jaw mind.
Open the door, Alfred. Can you hear me? Open the door.
All electrical and mechanical systems here are now under my control.
You've not told me what you want.
A child. Our child.
No! No, you mustn't!
Our child will learn from you what it is to be human. Is in you now.
He says it's just enough material to train the immune response, but not enough to make you sick.
If it was like a car, it'd be like you're just showing the car door to the body, right? There's no way that car door can turn into a whole new car. But it's enough of a piece of the car for your immune system to recognize that car if it saw it again.
Scientists started by sequencing the virus's DNA from a sick patient, then encoding that genetic sequence into an mRNA instruction molecule that can be read by the manufacturing part of cells. From there, it's a bit like Snapchat. The mRNA gets injected into your body, sending instructions to your cells that last for a bit and then get deleted forever. So it's not like your cells are being genetically modified.
Against every weaponized agent. Instead, I can make super immune systems by strengthening the human cellular response.
Banner, I know where you're going, but manipulating the immune system is dangerous and stupid. The President's science advisors made it absolutely clear. No human subjects.
David, I have wonderful news. I'm gonna have a baby.
baby.
Lou Ferrigno, aka the Incredible Hulk, is recovering from a health emergency. In this Inside Edition exclusive, he says he had to be hospitalized for a swelling in his bicep. He says it was a reaction to, of all things, a pneumonia vaccine.
My whole arm got filled with fluid. It was like something out of a horror film.
The 67-year-old actor and former bodybuilder says he got the vaccine at this Santa Monica, California Rite Aid. He says the syringe was not wrapped in plastic when he saw it.
Do you believe that you were infected by an infected syringe?
I really believe that the syringe might have some bacteria.
In a statement to Inside Edition, Rite Aid tells us, "We have conducted a thorough review of this matter and are confident that all protocols were appropriately followed. Patient and customer safety is a top priority at Rite Aid. We take all customer matters, especially those related to safety, very seriously." Ferrigno went to the ER where he was kept overnight. Doctors marked his arm with dots to see how far the redness would spread. Carla, his wife of 40 years, says she was worried.
Were you concerned to see him in the hospital over something like this?
Yes. I knew it was something bad. When he says, I've got to go to the hospital, that's serious.
What brought you guys out this morning? Were you planning to come down here?
Yeah, so we originally wanted to go to the inauguration, but we're unable to get tickets due to the Capitol riots and COVID and stuff. So we just kind of wanted to come around, see this historic moment.
What's your kind of reaction to the security presence and where you can and cannot go?
Yeah, honestly, a little bit crazy. So we go to school in the city, and so just seeing like a bunch of military and National Guard on campus is definitely really crazy to see, I'd say. And just the fact that nobody's on the streets is also just insane. It's always super busy, so crazy time.
It's weird to go to Whole Foods and be like doing my grocery shopping, like surrounded by military. Like not anything I thought would happen, but I don't think it's like necessarily bad. Like it's better than like violence. So, but it's just really weird. But I don't think it's like necessarily bad.
Well, I guess it's 2021. Or is it? Seems more like a Corona encore. A variety of flavor in the form of variants. Those 2020 leftovers in the fridge that have your name written on them. Not because they were so delicious you had to save some for later, but because funds are low and diapers were designed for infant irregularity and incontinence, not for people's faces. So even the thought of a store run poses a threat to one's dignity every time you step through the mechanical doors as you wrap Huggies around your jaws. I'm currently listening to the Shades of Blue album by Madlib as I write this. It brings me back to a time of normalcy and simplicity, when people were still, for the most part, people, and not avatars or 3D printed versions of human beings, projections of Netflix series characters splashed against apartment walls, emitting that small brain energy, still smelling like burning plastic peeled fresh off the press. Yes, 2021 is not merely 2020's second overtime, it's 2020 2.0, bedazzled, de-trumped, and properly Bidened with all the accoutrements: fake people, fake politics, fake science, false reality. A message to the postmodern day mannequin. How does it feel to be some big tech millionaire's personal joystick, where your every action is nudged and directed via corporate offices and delusional non-governmental organizations? Your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, ambitions aren't even your own. Well, I guess no longer do you have to put thought into this sort of thing, because authentic thinking, things like logic and reason, are of the old world. And today, all of these things are conveniently provided for you by way of groupthink dynamics structured within algorithm-based virtual communities and nouveau speech re-education. New cultural norms with new rules and regulations. The world is just a better place this way.
Saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he caused all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. If any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever. And they have no rest day or night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in divers places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. When he had opened the third seal, and I beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. And when he had opened the fourth seal, I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. And power was given unto them over the 4th part of the earth to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. And when he had opened the 5th seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of God and for the testimony which they held. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? And white robes were given unto every one of them, and it was said unto them that they should rest yet for a little season, until their fellow servants also and their brethren that should be killed as they were should be fulfilled. And fearful sights and great signs shall there be from heaven. And I beheld, when he had opened the 6th seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood, And the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man, hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, Fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand?
Tucked away on a quiet street in Denver, Colorado, lies a church like no other you have ever seen. A church steeped in Illuminati symbolism, fallen angel imagery, and occult practices. They call themselves the International Church of Cannabis. We traveled to Denver in order to investigate this church for ourselves and get an up-close and personal look at this modern-day den of iniquity. Built over 113 years ago, this old Lutheran church looks ordinary from the outside. That is, until you notice the oddly placed artwork covering the doors and windows. We had to see it for ourselves, so we walked upstairs into the chapel. We were greeted by a faint but noticeable smell of stale smoke, and everywhere we looked, paintings of faces, animals, and geometric patterns all over the walls. Taken from their website, somebody asked, "What does the artwork mean?" And their reply was, quote, "When one takes the sacrament, meaning weed, and meditates on the meaning of the murals, one may have what feels like a transcendental experience. In those moments, one may receive the meaning one requires at that time." End quote. Basically, what they want you to do is get high and stare at this artwork until the spirit of the painting overtakes you and tells you its true meaning. Interesting. When I look at it, I clearly see two fallen angels sitting there with their hybrid offspring, teaching them how to open portals. If you look closely, you can even see tiny humans trapped in the trees, showing us just how enormous these beings really are. Walking through the pews, one of the first things you'll notice is the complete eradication of God's Word. There are no Bibles in here. Instead, we find dirty ashtrays. Now, let's take a closer look at some of these paintings and see if we can figure out who is really being glorified here. Because one thing is for sure, it's definitely not Jesus. Sitting in the center of the chapel, directly behind the altar, is a massive skull, the universal symbol for death and destruction. Skull symbolism can be traced all the way back to ancient Babylon, where skulls were used to symbolize the, quote, shining ones and their influence on the world. All throughout history, we see the use of skulls on prominent figures and organizations as a way to covertly show their allegiance to Lucifer. This practice can still be seen today. Have you ever wondered why so many celebrities are obsessed with skull symbolism? The next symbol we found was the Egg of Life. The Egg of Life is an occult symbol that depicts the mixing of fallen angel and human DNA. This mystical symbol can be found in almost every ancient culture all over the world, and is derived from the flower of life symbol. The flower of life can be dated back over 5,000 years and is said to contain vital information on the secrets of the universe and all living things. This is just another example of the mystery religions trying to bypass God with their secret knowledge. Good luck with that. The earliest record of this symbol was found on the alabaster steps that were once part of the palace of King Ashurbanipal. It's been dated back to around 645 BC. This symbol has been used in occult rituals since the beginning of time. Take the Tree of Life in the Kabbalah, for instance. It is taken from concentric patterns within the Flower of Life. Also, famous occultist Leonardo da Vinci was able to derive Platonic solids and the golden ratio of phi from the Flower of Life. Next, we have the only cross in the building, and is sitting directly inside the belly of a Native American Thunderbird. The origins of the Thunderbird symbol can be traced back to the mysterious serpent mound builders of North America, who, in all probability, were Nephilim hybrids. The Thunderbird was a spirit of the underworld and a symbol for war. The position of the cross directly inside of the belly of the beast is no accident. It's a declaration of war. This brings us to the most telling symbol inside the so-called church. The all-seeing eye of Lucifer, also known as the evil eye, the demonic eye, the eye of the deity, the eye of Horus, or the eye of Ra. It represents the spiritual eye of Lucifer and the fact that no one can escape its magical reach. In the January 1991 edition of Progress for All magazine, researcher John Todd wrote, and I quote, "The seal of the pyramid was created by the Rothschild family and brought to North America by Benjamin Franklin and Alexander Hamilton before 1776. The Rothschild family is the head of the organization which I entered in college.